Do you support or propose changing Commissioners Court meetings to evening hours to afford working citizens a more viable opportunity to attend and participate as appropriate, and why?
Certainly. It certainly, we wouldn't have full communication otherwise. It certainly is important, and it's just callous to think that we're going to kind of sail along without it. I think there are other media options available, such as streaming, and there's no reason that those things can't be on the internet. There's no reason that people can't participate through, bless us all, their elected officials. They've got a commissioner up there. He's got a great cell phone, but he should also have a laptop. And here comes Mary Jo is writing in to say, you know, to her commissioner, James, please raise this question. He's got it right there in front of him. If he doesn't, let me tell you, that is one lady who will remind him that he didn't. And he'll get a chance to ask it the next time, won't he, man? That's the way we got the road paved up where we live. She ran for commissioner. Scared the punch out of those people, and they built the road right up to her gate. I've been trying to get her to run again and pretend she lives over at my house, but we haven't had any luck. That's 2 more miles. But yes, I think that the communication is a matter of policy, it's a matter of practice, it's a matter of politics. And people who put their signs out in the middle of the night and don't even come to a meeting here at 7 o'clock, which it's not even Pavelic's bedtime. Clyde's still awake. There's no excuse for not being here tonight. Thanks very much.
Mr. Eccles, same question. Do you support or propose changing Commissioners Court meetings to evening hours to afford citizens a more viable opportunity to attend?
Well, I think we should. Meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning is an inconvenience for most of you. You have jobs, you work. You can't be at the courthouse at 9 o'clock. And we should do this more. Commissioners Court should meet. You're invited, if you can, to come, and you should know what's going on. You should be told. You should be advised. You should know. You should be asked, I guess is the word I'm looking for. If commissioners are going to spend your money, they should ask you if they can. Do you want it? If you don't want it, they shouldn't spend it. And those meetings need to be held at a time when you can attend them, or most of them. It might be all right to have an occasional meeting, depending on what's on the agenda at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. But there needs to be more of what we're seeing here tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Irving?
Oh, I like Gail's thing about bringing in all the dove hunters. We just plant lots of doves and lots of seed, and all the doves come in. Dove Fest has been a remarkable success, but we need long-term jobs for your children and their grandchildren. Do I believe in nighttime meetings? I think if you refer back to my open statement, I said that's one thing I would do. I also believe that you should rotate the meetings around between the communities, Karnes City, Kennedy, Runge, and Falls City, to where the people can come in and have a say in what's going on. We have asked, I said I've been in the fight. We asked for nighttime meetings at Commissioner Court in open meeting in the beginning, and we were turned down. So we've been in the fight, we've been trying to get things done, but it's very difficult at times when you don't have open and responsive government.
Okay, thank you. We have just a couple of minutes before we go to the closing statements. So I will sort of open it to the floor. Is there just a burning question that you need to ask, or it just begs to be asked? If so, raise your hand and I'll try to have them all. Mr. Yauer?
Mr. Taylor, is there a time limit on the response of the judge to your request?
No, and I made all sorts of concessions, and I paid for the expenses, so keep your checkbook ready. We may get a walker. But he's not going to do it. He's not here tonight. Thank you. The answer is, was there a time limit on my demand to Judge Kendall to produce these various papers? And the answer is no. There was no time limit. Under the Texas Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, they got 20 days to respond, and the response can be so convoluted that it takes a lawyer to work through it all. That's why they've got their own law firm defending those guys. They're paying them $200 an hour to argue with Busselman about appeals that aren't going to be concluded until after the election. I mean, we've got a lot of times in the air around here. But the answer is, yes, they're going to be answered. Because they're going to be answered in the hearts and minds of everybody who sees this newspaper. Every one of you and the people who read it today will know, well, Lieutenant, who is he? Well, here he is asking the judge for a bunch of simple, straightforward stuff to avoid confusion.
Okay,
And
save that for your closing statements. Any other questions? Or just burning that you really think people need to hear? Okay, this will be the last one.
What can we possibly do to stop the building before you guys get in office? What, is there anything we can do?
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Utley on the end. Brief answer, please.
As I told you, there is a lawsuit that is on appeal, and that's the best object we have at the moment. There are also some other remedies that we may try to enact that I can't talk about today to try to stop it. So I am working with other people to try to stop it if at all possible.
Mr. Eccles, same question.
Well, I agree with Mr. Utley. There is some work in that direction. And again, I'm not an attorney, but as I look at the contract with the, and I have a copy of it, with the architect or architectural firm, I think that contract is totally illegal. I think the contracts, many of the contracts have been, and it may influence the legal decision that's forthcoming. There's no way I can answer that question. I don't know, because who knows what Judge XYZ is going to come up with. But it is being worked on. I will promise you that. Some of the, as Mr. Utley was talking about, Betty Yarder is an attorney. She has something filed. We should have some answer within a few days, but I can't say when. You know how the legal system works. They do it when they want to, not when you want them to.
Thank you. Mr. Bennett, and briefly, please.
I disagree with that interpretation. I think that's bankrupt legal thinking. He even quoted the source. Let me tell you that if a contract is entered into illegally, it is voidable. Demonstrate the illegality, the voidability sticks. You tell me how long you think Frost Bank wants to stay out there as the beneficiary of a certificate of obligation when there's a fraud lawsuit sniffing along right behind it. They'll drop this thing like a hot potato, in my opinion, and I've sued only a few hundred banks in my day. It can be done, and it can be done powerfully, but it has to be done with the authority of the people. If we clean these people out right away, that's a pretty good lesson. They'll see it coming. The ones who negotiated with them, the ones who signed contracts with them, the ones who are hoping to lend them $3.6 million are going to quietly fold their books. And I think the answer to your question is yes, there's something that can be done. It has to do with the court of law, and there is justice for people who have been abused, which is you. Thank you.
The last question I have leads us into the closing remarks. Each candidate, in the same order in which they drew, will be given their opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. And this last question was, why would you want to be county judge? So include that in your closing remarks. And per the draw, Mr. Eccles, you were first.